Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for Kent to join us. Women love him, men want to be him. Shouldn't be too long. Here's Kent. How you doing, Kent? Earth calling Kent.
Gotcha.
You there, mate?
Yeah, gotcha.
Going back to Crusher and the drug situation, what about Eddie Hill's role in all this?
I think he's going to be very frustrated. I think he's played it wrong. I think the wrong people have been dealing with it. And I think it's going to cost him, it's just cost him already a lot of financially, it's cost him a lot because he's invested a lot of money in Conor. And when's he going to get it back? He's not. Can't fight in UK.
Yeah, it's, well, he's going to have egg on his face, isn't he?
Well, he's basically AJ Mark II. It's a matchroom project that's going terribly wrong.
Massively wrong.
Massively wrong.
Very big. Right, Joshua. What's next for him now? Because there's no noise around him, is there?
I don't think there needs to be at the minute, and I think that's a good thing for Josh, AJ. I think it's smart. I think the more he's out of the media, the more he just lets everything slide and everything else work and pan itself out, the better. I think that's what he needs. That's what he probably wants in his career at the minute. I think he needs to be a lot focused as he has been this last, since leaving Derek James, everything's been kind of going his way. I think he's got a bit of momentum back with fans. I don't think it's all down to his own doing, though. I think it's all down to the frustrations that the fans have with Tyson Fury. So he'll take that and he'll just go on with his business. I think the outcome is, for me, Wembley next, and it will be Dubois and Hrgovic winner.
Yeah.
I think that's the next step forward. I said this, 6 months ago, that Tyson Fury would obliterate Francis Ngannou in one round. I spoke to Richard on the phone one night about it, and I said he would do that, and he didn't. And basically what AJ done to Ngannou is what you would expect any top 10, any top 20, any top 30 heavyweight in the world to do. So you would expect that. It was spectacular looking. It was a great highlight reel knockout, but the guy was a complete novice. It's like if that guy walked into the gym and asked to spar with you, you'd expect to do that with him. But because Fury didn't do that, and he did, he's generated a lot of traction from it. And again, the frustrations of Fury with the fans, I think that's helped AJ. I think he's a lot less in the media. I think he's just taking himself away. He's working with Ben. And I think he's just keeping himself to himself. I think people like a wee bit more less. Less is more. And that, in that perspective, I think less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? How do you see it all panning out?
I think spectacle-wise, I think what generates a lot more money is Dubois and AJ. I think that's a better fight than AJ and Hrgovic, especially for an IBF strap. I think it's more attractive, commercially more attractive. It's in Britain. It's a British fighter. It's going to be at Wembley. Battle of Britain Mark II. It's going to be like the second coming of Frank Bruno and Lennox Lewis. So I think it looks really, really good if it comes out. I think what they'll want, and it's Frank Warren against Eddie Hearn. I think that's the best possible outcome from everyone. That actually works out like that. It's easier to sell. Yeah, it sells better. It sells better in the media. It sells better commercially. Everything regarding the fight, it's just massive. It's massive. It makes it even bigger if it's Dubois.
You see Dubois doing out?
No, I'm not against AJ.
No.
No. Nice. He doesn't move his head a lot. I think AJ's generating a wee bit more force. He's putting his shots together a wee bit better. I think you can see Dubois overthinking. And when I watch him, when he overthinks, he goes back to the same Dubois that he was at the start of his career. And that's a terrible habit. He doesn't seem to be in. There's no coach. I don't think there's any coach out there in boxing that could actually improve Dubois because he has that mode that he goes into. And I don't think he can improve. Mike Shane said that. And I've seen it. I've seen it from day one. A couple of your guests were on the channel. This channel talking about, how much of an improvement that Shane had made with Daniel Dubois. I didn't see it. I didn't see any of it. So I don't think he's improved fighter. I don't think he's improving fighter. I think he's just got great power and a good job. That's it. That's all. I don't think he can get any better than he already is.
Do you think AJ's got better with Ben Davidson?
Yeah. There's more fluidity in his punching. He's not as robotic. He seems to be a wee bit more confident. I think he's putting the shots together that wee bit better. I'm probably going to get rinsed for saying this, but he did beat Francis Ngannou. Yeah, you expect him to do that in that way, but Tyson Fury didn't do it that way. But I just see him generating that wee bit more force. I see more fluidity in his movement. Is a lot less robotic, a lot less stiff. As I said, there's more fluidity in all the shots. And I think he's been a lot better since he's went to Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, he's an emerging trainer now, isn't he? Boxer-sized Ben.
Yeah, well, I've given him a lot of stick over the years, and a lot of it's been justified. But just recently, he's kind of more mature. He's not doing as many interviews. He's keeping himself to himself. He's putting a lot more probably time on with his fighters, and you have to respect that. You don't see him on. You've got people like Dave Caldwell, on advertising himself every other week, doing sermons and talking about other fighters' performances. He's absolutely non-stop. And Ben used to be like that as well. But he's not doing that. He's not doing that even as the quarter of the amount that he was. So I kind of respect that and just leave him to it.
What do you see happening with Lee Wood and Warrington?
Russell, Warrington has won one fight in the last 3.5 years. Why is he getting another world title fight?
Yeah.
Why would you want to? Why would you want to see that? No, I don't. I would actually. I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Warrington if he had actually earned the right to fight for a world title. I don't see why he should be in another world title fight, especially when he's lost so many of his last 10. His last 5 fights, how many has he actually won? When was the last time he actually won a fight? I don't care that they thought the last. I actually didn't think it was that controversial. I think he was absolutely out in his feet, and I think it was the right call from the referee to stop him. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
plus he beat my mate Clark Frampton, so I don't really care.
Well, Lauren Price, world champion.
Not interested in one bit. I love boxing. I love football. I love darts. I love snooker. I like combat sport. And I have a passion for all them sports. And I have to have a connection to watch them particular events with the athletes. If I have a connection with them, I watch them. If I like watching European football, if I have a connection with a team, I watch. I like Bayer Leverkusen. If I have a connection with them, I'll watch them. I don't have any connection at all with Lauren Price. She looks absolutely miserable all the time, and I just can't. I didn't want to. I actually didn't watch the card the other night at all because every time I see her on Sky, her bake's just tripping her all the time. Like I sit down after a long hard week in work, and I want to enjoy my boxing. I want to enjoy the fights. I don't want to see somebody there whose bake is absolutely tripping them. Don't want to see that.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. What do you think to Big Joe Egan's reaction to John Fury? See it?
Am I even more hardcore than I was before, Russell?
Oh my God. Big Joe was straight on it for that Saudi buns.
He's just been piping up about everything recently. I'm bored of him. I'm bored of Joe Egan talking about the same crap as I am as John Fury. Honestly, I've I'll not watch anything he says. It's just the same old nuts. It's just the same old spin, same old narrative, over and over and over. So what? You're a doorman. So what? Who cares?
Well, Usyk's just said he's ready for Tyson Fury, surrounded by soldiers at presser.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm really looking forward to this, Russell. I really am. I think what happens is with big fights, I get really excited. Really, really, really excited. And the last while, it's hard for me to get excited with Tyson Fury fights because you either get a really underwhelming performance, you get multiple personalities all week, or you get a pullout and it numbs you, makes you get conditioned to feel that way. So I don't have the excitement yet of this fight. So I'm hoping this excitement comes around Thursday, Friday. I'm really excited for the fight. But I just love watching Usyk. I love watching his interviews. I love watching him train. He's really creative. He's really quirky. He's a great personality. He's got this unique personality about him. I just can't wait to see him in Saturday night. I really can't.
Oh, yeah.
He's super. He's my favorite fighter.
Yeah. He's got a right skill set, hasn't he, Usyk?
Oh, you look at that European style. And I was speaking to someone on work about this the other day, and you talk about styles in boxing, and everybody talks about the Cuban style. And for me, I don't really rate the Cuban style at all. It doesn't translate into elite professional boxing. You know, many elite Cuban fighters who have defected and turned pro actually do really, really, really well with their style. But you look at that European style, it's unpenetrable. It is most clinical for me. If you're going to teach a boxing style, it would be a European style. I think it's unpenetrable if it's done correctly.
Yeah.
His feet, his hands, his pivoting, his punching, even the way he places shots. You watch how everything's the same. Everything's drilled. Everything's the fine motor skills that Oleksandr has. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The technique, the precision, and that all comes down from really good, fine motor skills, motor literacy, and that's taught over having amazing fundamentals, just drilled fundamentals, continuous drill fundamentals. Nothing's wasted. You know, any shot that Usyk throws, it has a purpose and has a method. I just love that style. I think Bivell's the same. Dimitri Bivell has got that style is just unpenetrable. I just love watching probably my favourite two fighters watching them at the minute would be Dmitry Bivol and Oleksandr Usyk, just for that style alone.
You mate, I know you.
Yeah, I do. I know he was dropped last week, but name me name me the 5 greatest fighters in history, right? And tell me which one of them hasn't been actually dropped in their career.
Yeah.
And he come back and he was absolutely dominant. He was absolutely dominant. And it was actually a really well worked shot because it was a reactive shot in a certain situation that they've been working on. It's very smart. But I know he is just a monster. He's a generational talent. So he is. I think he could go up maybe another 2 weights. He's that good. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Incredible fighter. He seems to hit fighters. It's like getting hit by a train. That's the force he has. And you look at how he puts shots together. He's so accurate with his punches. And you look at big punchers and you see a big puncher and you think they throw a lot of wedge shots because they know they're heavy handed. They're gonna land. He's not like that. He lands really well placed shots, but with real power. And to be so accurate and putting that and generating that amount of power is surreal. That's an extreme. I've no words for him. How elite he is. He is absolutely elite, and his balance. Look at his feet. Look at his balance. Look how he gets in and out of range. Look how he punches off a pivot. He is absolutely devastating, Russell. Devastating.
Yeah, you have to say
I tell you what, Paul Butler's performance against him was highly underrated. Highly underrated performance from Paul Butler in that fight.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Tough guy. Really. To go that amount of time with him and to take that minimal damage that he did against him, I think him and Joe deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I do.
It was not. You look at the amount of fighters that Inoue has fought and who he's just ran right through, and for Butler to go into that fight and take minimal damage and come out of that fight, the best case scenario for Paul Butler in that fight and Joe was to come out of that fight with the least amount of damage and be able to fight again, and they are, and that's the win for them. That was probably the key factor in him fighting again was the amount of damage he took in that last fight against Inoue, which was not that much.
Yeah. He's good at Inoue though, isn't he?
Oh, he's exceptional. He is absolutely exceptional. How do you rate him, Russell?
Oh, he's in my top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, he's massive audience in Asia. Massive, Top Rank don't need to take him to America because the numbers that he brings in Asia and over there is just scurry. He's a generational talent. I just think if he crossed over that wee bit better, he would even be an even bigger star. But over there, he's like Michael Jordan over in Asia. So if you're big over in Asia and Tokyo and that there, it's just as big as cracking it in the Western world, I suppose.
Terry Harper, Rihanna Dixon in July.
I don't think it's really smart. I don't think it's a great fight for Terry. I think what Terry needs is a break. I said it in the last video. I don't think jumping in the fight after fight after fight. I think she needs a bit of time away from boxing and get fresh. Maybe fight in a year's time, but who am I to say that?
Well, Lauren Price, double world champion after 7 fights, 51 rounds.
Well, there's no real depth there, is there? You're not having to. Well, not that a lot of fighters actually do this now anyway, is go through British, come off European, fight a couple of gatekeepers, fight eliminator and then fight for a world title if you're ready. There isn't that depth to do that. Like Lauren Price could have won that world title in her first fight. Caroline Dubois is the same. They're putting her in over matching her with these other girls. I don't think it's fair. I don't think the board should be doing it. I think she's ready for a world. I think Caroline Dubois is ready for a world title now. Was probably ready for a world title 5 fights ago. So it's time just to get on with it. I think Lauren Price could have won a world title in her first fight against that girl. I think that's not the fighter's fault, but the positive is that there's a lot of unification fights with the world titleists females, so it's good. It's good they're actually fighting each other. But on the way up, there just doesn't seem to be that depth. You know, the business, the game, the ladies sport, the ladies phase is only developing, so it's going to take maybe 15, 20 years to get more depth in the divisions. It's not their fault.
Yeah, Savannah's out next month in MMA.
Brilliant. Well, I think it's smart she's doing it. You know, how else is she going to earn money? You know, if she's not getting the dates with Sky and there isn't there isn't the big money fights out there because there isn't the depth, there isn't the name brand value. Go out and, do an MMA. PFL are a pretty big company. I think there could be an opportunity for her to get a Shields rematch in MMA. I think that would sell really well. I think it would do well in America. Actually, I don't think it would because she actually doesn't really sell that well in America. I think the reason that fight was so big was because of Savannah and her fan base and Savannah in the UK. I think the UK made that fight big. I don't think the US have much of a market for Carissa Shields.
Yeah, what about Tasha? She's back training.
Brilliant. I'm really disappointed just Sky didn't give her the opportunity that she deserves. You know, Sky kind of brought Natasha out of a hiatus with Matchroom. And basically she won world titles on Sky, gives Sky, numbers, brought name brand value to Sky that they didn't have at the time, where they hadn't really many other fighters. And to be treated that way and not be given what she's worth, I think it's really disappointing. I think Ben Shalom's not the most astute businessman in boxing. I think he's a lot to learn. And to be honest with you, I think the best thing moving forward for Natasha is go to Frank Warren and fight Chantel Cameron. You could do that. That'd be a massive fight. You 2 fights there. First fight and then rematch.
Yeah, do you think Tasha will ever get Katie Taylor fight?
No. I think that roadmap for Katie Taylor, if that fight were to happen, she would have to go back to the zone. I don't think she goes back to the zone already. And if she does go back, she goes in as not the B side, the C side.
Yeah.
D side, and she'll be offered that money. And she's too good a fighter to do that. She's earned her money. She has to have a certain amount, to fight for. You need to generate, and to go in with that there with a low ball offer of just to get the Katie Taylor fight, that wouldn't be good business sense. I think if she went to Queensbury and went to Frank Warren, I think that fight with Chantel Cameron is massive. I actually think it's a huge fight down the line because Frank doesn't have any other real female name fighters with that name brand value to sell. So I think that would be a great fight, a really good fight down the line. I think they could do that next.
Yeah, what do you think of Chantel Cameron now? She's been bricked up, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, she was disappointed that they were talking Croke Park. They were talking a massive, massive, massive fight in Croke Park for the rematch against Katie Taylor. I actually thought I've said this. I thought she lost the Katie Taylor fight by about 4 rounds. I thought Katie Taylor just was a wee bit more smarter this time. I thought Chantel was too emotional coming in, rushing forward. I thought that Katie just used her boxing IQ just to win the fight. So it's one apiece. So you automatically think that they're going to do the rematch. I personally didn't think it was ever going to happen because they've got Katie Taylor back. They've got her back on the perch. You know, she's got those titles. She's got a win over the girl that beat her. They're not going to go down that road again. You know, no way are they going to want to go down that road and lose again, because if they lose again, her headline career could be over. I always thought that the Serrano fight was there in the back burner waiting. I think the only reason that they went in for that Cameron rematch was because the Serrano fight was in the back burner, and to make that attractive and make that really big, she had to win that Cameron fight. That's the only reason they went into that. Win the Cameron fight and take the belts away. Take them away. Don't give Cameron a chance. Don't give her the rematch. Take her down another avenue. Because if she loses again, as I say, it's harder to come back in it.
Yeah. It's I feel sorry for Chantel Cameron, to be honest with you.
I do and I don't. I think she kind of should have seen it that way. I don't think she should have been as gullible and realised that, yeah, we'll just run down to Cook Park and there'll be 80,000 there and they're going to bring me down to Cook Park to beat Katie Taylor. It was never going to happen. Business wise, I didn't see it ever happening. I said to my mate Daniel about it, and he's a Yorkshireman like you, and he was gutted about her losing that fight. And he says, "Yeah, well, Crook Park's gonna happen." I says, "No, never. It'll never happen." And he says, "Why would they bring somebody that's just beat her the fight before down to Crook Park in front of 80,000 people to beat her again? Give her a chance to beat her? Doesn't make sense." I never seen that fight ever happening. Serrano was always there in the back burner for America.
Yeah.
It was like a double swerve, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ken, you know that top you've got on? Is that a Wimbledon top?
How'd you know that? I'm impressed. I was just waiting on you asking me. Yes, it
I
is.
remember that Elenex, isn't it? Elenex.
Yeah.
I remember
Love it,
Vinny
Russell.
used to wear it, didn't he?
Yes, well, this is a Vinnie Jones replica.
Is it?
Yep.
You womble.
Yeah, I'm a womble. I love replica football tops. I'm a bit of a connoisseur with replica football tops.
Oh, yeah.
I love replica football tops, Russell. There's just something great about replica tops. They're so creative. All kits are the same now. Every team's got near enough a team with a certain brand of top of all the same type of designs, where these tops were, for me, that was the golden days of football. Football in the 90s. Pardon me. Football in the 90s was just, watching it as a kid was just absolutely amazing. Watching all these larger than life characters. So I've got my Wimbledon top. I've got a West Ham. You know what? The next time I'm on, I'll wear my West Ham Dagenham Motors.
Go on, Kent. You're going to rip it up next time.
Next time I'm on, Russell, remind me, I will wear my West Ham.
Drink it there, Ken. Are you having a large one?
Large bottle of Coke, yes.
Cola.
I cracked open a bottle of cola, yes. Yes.
Go on, Ken. And you got a packet of nuts there?
No, I don't like nuts. Not nuts, man.
No. What have you been doing lately then, Ken? Fill me in.
I've just been training, just been doing a lot of training there and just enjoying my training and
running,
getting on my way. Not as much. I'm kind of doing more power based training at the minute, so I'm going to do that for about 5 weeks. Some more power based stuff. I only run once a week now, so I do, because I'm doing that other type of training. So
What are you training, Kemp, for like an Ironman or one of them tough men
nah,
competitions?
nah, it's too long now. I'm completely done with long distance. I'm probably thinking about doing 400 meters, maybe 400 meters, maybe 100, 200, 400 meters. Do the training. Maybe look at my times and see what my times are like, and maybe do an open meet or something like that. Not really looking to go to the Olympics or anything. It's just training. I always like changing my training quite a lot, trying different sports, just become that wee bit more, just be a better athlete, be a better, more rounded athlete, doing different types of sports. So typical week would be Olympic lifting session. Do that. Then one day I'll be jumping, lots of jumping, like plyometric training. One day I'll be throwing, like Matty ball throws, kettlebell throws. The other day would be like a sprint track session. And another day would be like hypertrophy weights, just like dumbbell press, shoulder press, pulling, press and squat. And then 5K one of the other days, or a swim. So that's how I'm training. That's how I'm going to train for the next 5 weeks. See where it takes me. Just see where it takes me. It's managing it now. You know, I'm 41 now, so I have to kind of manage my recovery that wee bit better and be a wee bit smarter with the recovery. And if I want to take a rest day, I'll take it. Like I'm taking a rest day today because the last 3 sessions back to back have been really tough. Last night's session was brutal, so I'm tight and tired and sore. So I'm just going to rest today and just be smart. Just let your body adapt. You know, the more you train, sometimes the harder you train, the less adaptive and the less your body's actually adapting to the stress. Take the stress out of the training and you adapt from it. But that's it. That's all. Nothing strange or startling with me, Russell. What about you?
I'm all right. I'm just applauding me, aren't I? You know, I'm still training. I did a bit yesterday morning. I still do my sit-ups and that, light weights and that. Plod on, mate. Don't I'm just a plodder, me.
Well, it's slow and steady wins the race, Russell, isn't it?
Yeah, I could do with getting a bit of weight on. I think I'm about 150 pounds, so I could do with about 20 pound on, to be honest.
That's a lot to get on. It's a lot. It's
Finding it
a
hard
lot.
to hold down though at the moment.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of weight to get on. Really, you know, in a short period of time, like £20, you'd be talking £20 over about 3 years. You know, a pound a week, or not a pound a week, but maybe £2 a month or £1 a month. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot of weight. For me, it's look at your diet, look at your calories, look at your expenditure. You know, look at things like caffeine and anything that speeds up your metabolic rate, things like that. Try and cut them out. Look at how you're training. Maybe do more compound based training as well. No big
Doing
compound
circuit
lifts.
training at factory, aren't I?
Well, if you're doing lots of that, you're going to be burning calories.
I know that's the
You know,
problem, isn't it? You see, but I've got a lot of energy. You see, and if I don't do that, I'll be like, I'd be struggling to get through there. I'd be like hyperactive. Do you know what I mean? So I have to burn myself out.
I asked you, yes, are you putting the weight on to look good or feel good? The £20. What is it for?
I don't know. I'm happy, but I could do it £20. Well, just to look a bit better. I mean, when your kids
Who,
that you've got an head like a skull, there's a problem, isn't there?
who cares what people think? Who cares?
I care.
I don't. You know, if you're happy and you feel fit, you feel strong,
Fit as a
you're
butcher
the
dog at the moment.
you're as fit as you've ever been ever. So why
It's not
change it?
I'm as fit as a woman at 25, but maybe not as strong.
You know, why would you change it? You don't need it. You don't need to change what you're doing. You're happy, you're healthy. That's the main thing. Who cares what other people think of your perception? I don't. I
Yeah.
couldn't care less. Who cares? As long as you're happy, you're fit and body and mind, you're fresh. That's the main thing. Who cares what others think?
Yeah. Right. We'll finish off on this. Roberto Smith at the board. What are they doing? Why is he still there 17 year on?
Free gratis, isn't it? Jobs, money for the boys.
Hey,
Money for the boys, isn't it?
isn't it?
Yeah. Jobs for the boys.
Been going on too long now, hasn't it?
There's no progression whatsoever in the board. It's a closed shop. It's impossible to progress in that board. Isn't it?
Yeah.
What's improved?
Not much.
To be fair now, they've stood their ground with Conor Benn. You know, they've stood their ground with that, which you would expect them to do that, really. That's their job, but they have stood their ground with it. So they have. And
they didn't do it for Gary Sykes.
No, that was very disappointing. So it was against, the Carl Johansson, and that's terrible. That's like
all they had to do was give Julian half an hour of his time at Cardiff and would have gone down, but they couldn't do it, could they?
No, they don't care. They don't really care. So they don't. It's it's a terrible story that there. That's a make or break thing for a fighter. A domestic level fighter that's not going to be a world champion or fight for a world title. So the British title is their world title. That is their world title. That's their lineage. That's their legacy, and the way they've treated them and the way they've gone on with it. All the parties has been really, really disappointing. So it has really disappointing. Shame on them.
Yeah, it is. Right, Ken, thanks for coming on. You've been a real tonic. I hope you're well.
Peace out.
I've got Adam coming on now.
Okay.
Your fellow.
All right, Russell.
Man. All right, my friend. You take care. Cheers, Kent. Well, that were Kent. Women love him, men want to be him. With his Wimbledon top on. Go on, Kent. Next week, Kent is going to surprise us all with his West Ham top. So, if anybody wants to leave a comment in the comments section and tell us what is their favourite football top of all time, feel free. I was actually looking at a Wolves top earlier. I think they're not bad, are they? With a pair of jeans and a white trainers. Each to their own. Go on, peace out. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Pop, pop, bang.